Hello and welcome to the Dirty Side of the Grid podcast. I'm Yusuf, and this is my co-host Mohammed, and this is episode 4, where we're discussing Qatar and everything that has happened in Qatar.
Not a lot, essentially.
Not a lot happened, yeah. It's quite boring, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna fill out the next hour basically with a lot of useless chit chat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you wanna crack on?
Well, I guess essentially, so what we've got now is the end of the triple header.
A new logo as well.
Yeah, obviously we've switched it up with the logo and the location as well.
Yeah, we're in a different library because the other library was booked basically.
It's still just as bad. Uni of not students going in the library at 6 p.m. I don't know what's going on. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, but
and it's
close to
November.
Exams.
Oh yeah, I forgot people have exams in January.
Yeah.
I have exams in January.
Moving on.
Right.
The podcast.
Well, so yeah, the end of the triple header. We finished Qatar. There's now 2 races to go, back to back, Saudi and Abu Dhabi, and it's looking like, well, everyone's basically saying Lewis has now won it. Essentially, that's
It's interesting because before the triple header, it was all Max, wasn't it? It was, can Lewis fight back?
Yeah.
What was the first race of the triple header? Mexico.
Yeah.
Did not go well at all for them. I think Mexico, like up to Mexico, we talked about this. I said like, it was Max who's going to win. It was Max's championship to lose.
It still is, yeah.
But I think up to this, I think Brazil, like the new engine, just like Mercedes smoked everything.
Yeah, no.
I don't know where they got that performance from. I'd be surprised if there's not something like in that grey zone, like that is happening.
The speed difference screams.
It's 26. It's 26 kilometers per hour.
That's the difference.
That's the difference between Mercedes and the Red Bull, and you don't get that big of a jump just because you put a new engine in the car. Plus, the one in like going into Brazil, there was an argument new engine and stuff, but going into Qatar, they put in an older engine. They didn't put in the one from Brazil.
Yeah, they were using the one from Turkey.
And there was still Lewis gap Max by 8 seconds, and he kept it there. Lewis was cruising to the end. You could see that they turned down the dial on the engine, and he was just cruising, and Max could not reach him. There is an argument Max had some damage on the front wing.
Yeah.
But still, Lewis was cruising the whole race.
Right. Well, before we get too much into it, obviously I don't want to forget this, but
No.
we've got to do the 60 seconds. So actually, before we do that,
No.
inspired by last week, your mentioning of the phone in the car, do you have any thing of the weekend this week? Any random facts, interesting moments, something that sparked your interest over the past week?
Let me see. Get this ready. Talk about something while I think about this. I have not seen anything like this out there that kind of pops to mind.
The stats that came in general were just talking about, I'm thinking of Qatar inspired stuff, but normally your thing comes out of nowhere, so it's just something to do with 2010, 2012.
I think, was it 2012 they had 6 world champions on the grid.
Oh, I remember Sky used to do the little bits about that, didn't they?
Yeah.
There were some nice little Sky videos
Think about that. This year is the closest we've ever come to that. We have Kimi, who's won a championship. Fernando's won 2. Lewis has won 7. Vettel's won 4. We've got, who else? Someone else has won something on the grid.
I don't think they have,
No, but still, like, championship-wise.
No, championship-wise,
one
I
of
don't
the
think
highest
any
we've
of them
ever
have
had.
won it. Oh, but in terms of numbers, yeah, definitely.
It has, I think this year you have the most drivers that have won a race.
That's probably true, yeah I'd say that.
Because Daniel has won, Max has won,
Ocon.
No, this is before the season actually started.
Oh, right, okay.
So you had Max, Lewis, Valtteri, Perez. No, Perez had won year at the time. And then Daniel. You had Kimi, Fernando. Leclerc, you had...
Trying to go in order.
Who else?
Alonso.
Mentioned him.
Ocon didn't.
Yeah.
Now we're Alvatari. Pierre
had won.
So no, which leaves the last one, so no.
But that's 9 drivers out of 20 who have won, which is impressive. Yeah. It's like 45%.
I think they posted a stat saying this year is joint most podium finish. I think they said 13 people have been on the podium.
13 out of the 20 have been on the podium. I think the ones that haven't been, like Haas, Nikita Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, Nicholas
George
Latifi.
technically has.
George has been. He's been on the podium.
That's horrific.
And then you've got. Did I count number 4? I didn't count number 4. Lance Stroll has not been on the podium. Tsunoda.
Vettel hasn't because he got taken away
he went
from
on a different podium, didn't he?
Oh, was he technically got?
No, he got a different podium. He got 2 podiums this year.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 5, and then the number 6 is.
Kubica surely doesn't count.
No, but Kubica isn't on that thing.
No, but he's in the standings, isn't he?
No. Has he reached? Oh, well.
He's on the.
No, but I'm talking about like out of the
proper,
20,
yeah,
out of the 20 we've raced the whole year. There is only one, but I can't think about who it was.
I can't remember now either.
It's not McLaren, it's not Ferrari, it's not. Has Charles been on the podium this year?
Oh, he must have done. Surely.
No, Charles hasn't been on the podium.
Really?
This year. Sainz has. Because they've been on the podium in Monaco, but he lost in Baku, and since then he has not been on the podium. Yeah, it's Charles, I think.
That would be incredible.
Oh no, he was on Silverstone.
Oh, of course, yeah, he finished second. I can't believe
Yeah.
I've forgotten.
Okay, anyways,
Either way, right?
Let's start with the 60-second thing.
60 seconds for your weekend summary. Go.
Lewis performs badly in practice. The track is surprisingly really nice, really interesting layout. Mercedes smoke everyone. Like Lewis is just ahead of everyone. Max getting P2, best result. Tyre failure is a big talking point because Pirelli got the hardest tyres, and we had like 4 tyre blowouts for absolutely no reason. They weren't running tyres like overboard or anything like that, and you got tyre blowouts. So I think that's a big point. And Fernando got his first podium in is it 7 years? Yeah, I think that was the highlight of the weekend for me. By far. That's everything that happened. Nothing else happened.
Right. It's 45 seconds.
Yeah, but like this weekend, like I think this is hard. It's difficult, like in a place like Brazil, for instance, because there were so many points to comment on. But in Qatar, there was just nothing to happen. It's
all championship talk, essentially, really. At the moment,
but it also takes me back to 2020 when just Lewis was so far ahead of everyone else.
What if you're taking the race individually as it is?
Yeah, it's just he dominated ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
I think Pirelli said they're bringing in their toughest tires and this, and then Valtteri, the two Williams, the McLaren, they all had tire blowouts.
Did Mick have, or did he? No, he just spun off, didn't he?
I think he spun off. Yeah. Those 4 had tire blowouts, and they did nothing wrong. Valtteri, he was on track. Williams, both of them were on track.
They went over the recommended. Obviously, this doesn't warrant it exploding, but they went over the recommended.
They didn't really go over the recommended by a lot.
It was by a couple.
But like Lewis in 2019 Monaco or something. He went over by like 20 laps or something like that, or 15 laps.
True.
They went over by like literally a few laps. You can't.
It was only a handful. Yeah.
You can't warrant like a tire blowout to go over by a few laps.
You can't.
You
it's
can
meant
say
to lose performance. It's
lose
not
performance.
Meant to,
It's not meant to. I think Pirelli, they have a lot to kind of. There's a lot of questions they have to answer, because this is the second time that they've had tire failures during the year. I think they're saved because Qatar is quite forgiving in the fact that there are quite a lot of runoffs. All these tracks again in the Middle East, there's quite a lot of runoff, except maybe like you can talk about Abu Dhabi maybe.
We'll see Jeddah as well. I'm hearing it's like Monza barriers.
But perhaps but that's the thing, like. If you're in Baku, or if you're in Monaco, or if you're in one of these tracks, Singapore, even like, not Monza to be honest, you could probably be fine. But if you're in any other track, you're in serious danger.
Yeah.
I think Jeddah is supposed to be a street circuit, which is funny because they're putting new tarmac down. And
I saw this. It was like they're constructing a street circuit.
Exactly.
That's like, it defeats the purpose of a street
circuit.
Exactly.
So I think it's just funny. I think it's just they want to have that effect of a street circuit, but there's it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But when you look at the track, it will have barriers. So I think if that happens there, it'll be extremely dangerous because they'll smack. Like I've seen it. I've seen like someone was walking through like how it's gonna look, and their barriers it's quite similar to Singapore essentially.
Yeah, I was about to
rather
say
than rather than Baku, because Baku you've got like barriers, but there's a bit like the street's a bit wide.
Certain corners they allow for like.
But Singapore is just like a slab of concrete and just like the wire.
Yeah.
That's how Jeddah's gonna look, and so I think like Pirelli cannot allow that to happen there.
No, yeah.
Because, Lando spoke about that. He said that, we go out there and we're okay putting our lives in danger, but if you just go a few laps over, or no, he didn't even reach that, and then your tire goes and you're potentially putting your life in danger, that's not acceptable.
Yeah,
there is a level of risk, but not because they're not making good tires. And this is their toughest. That's the interesting part. This is their toughest.
True, yeah. They
didn't bring a softer set. They bring the toughest set.
And it was the hards that were exploding as well.
And this is what happens. Honestly, it's just, I think something's wrong.
It's bad. It's not great from them, especially since it's obviously a PR move now. They've got plastered everywhere, Pirelli signs, all of this, Pirelli all over the place. Talking about we supply F1 and F1's the biggest.
Yeah, but then their tires are always popping, so you don't want to buy their tires.
They could make or break the sport as well, realistically. Like I said last week, if they make tires where the optimum strategy is perfectly between a one-stop or a two-stop, one-stop or a two-stop essentially, that's perfect for racing essentially.
You could argue that's
ideal,
what happened in Qatar in terms of you can borderline do a one-stop with Fernando. Or you can do a two-stop like everyone else. I think you can talk about that, but the fact that the tire actually failed rather than the tire just rather than losing performance, I think that's my issue. Because if you lose performance, fair enough, we all know that's what you expect to happen. But when you put a driver's life in danger, I don't think that's acceptable at all.
No, yeah, they've got. I hope they do the classic. We're gonna look into this now.
But it's useless.
I hope they better improve it.
Yeah, but they did that in Baku, and we knew going into Qatar, the whole talking point was it's gonna be really hard on the tires, and they knew that. They brought the hardest set, but that's the worrying point. This is their hardest set.
Yeah, the hardest set should be able to cope with
exactly
realistically.
I don't get that. I think there are a lot of questions I have to answer. I think the FIA have to kind of put a lot of pressure on them.
They do, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that in terms of performance, I think this was the closest between a one-stop and two-stop. So strategy was key, and it was very interesting. I think if Qatar, if we talk about a race review, if we talk about the race review, it was a bad race because the track is so wide. If they narrowed the track, overtaking would be much harder. And it would be a lot more interesting. Max was in P7, in a few laps he was in P2. Obviously his start was great, you have to give it to him. But after that, overtaking was so easy because that turn one is just so wide. It's similar to the one in Bahrain, but it's just Bahrain's also a bit dead because overtaking into turn one is just so easy. If you're in inferior machinery, you can't defend. They told what's his name, defend like a lion. Fernando
Esteban.
Bro, he overtook him straight that same lap.
Yeah, he couldn't do any more with that realistically.
Realistically, you can't ask him to do more.
Yeah.
Because the performance gap is much bigger and the track is just so wide. I think they have to revise the track and I think they have to tighten, at least first corner, tighten the racetrack or change a bit the layout.
So they've been going there for MotoGP since 2004, I think they kept saying, which means that they probably can't make the adjustments and the outside of the track is always going to be dusty and all of this, so the racing line is literally the only way, the only place you can go. Does that mean after they've said they're not going to do a race in Qatar for next year because of the World Cup, the year after they're going back, would you prefer to see a fresh circuit then? Just have them start from scratch and make a good one?
I think the track has a lot of potential. I actually really enjoyed the track. I think my only
Our
issue...
expectations were awful going.
Yeah. I think the track was really... I really liked the layout. It's actually really interesting. I think my only issue is it's so wide that overtaking is just so easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a Mercedes or a Red Bull. I think hopefully next year you won't have such a performance gap.
That is the idea.
But with DRS going down the straight, there is literally you can't defend. There is no hope for you to defend. Literally. It was that's my issue with the race. That's why it was boring.
There was only one overtaking spot and it was all internal one, which is it's annoying, but I guess that's what they're trying to do with the regulations next year. So change it up, allow them to follow. Maybe someone could overtake somewhere else. Do you also think though, just before we finish the tyre conversation, obviously next year they're going to the 18-inch or whatever it is, so they look a lot more like road tyres essentially to describe it. Are those? They look like they gather heat quicker. Or is it less? No, they're meant to be cooler, aren't they? because there's less rubber, which means that they're meant to be cooler in general. Would that help tyre life, or would it? I feel like in theory they'd last longer, but I don't know if they'd be able to withstand the loads.
I think that was the issue. It was the loads. I'm not 100% sure.
We'll have to look into it for the next one, to be fair. Yeah. We'll talk about it for the next one.
But it's interesting because they're also like, I don't think at that point that tyre heat is going to be like as much of an issue, because you have the thingies on the side, what they're called, that they removed from 2009.
All those like cap things on the side.
Yeah, the they use that for like heating in the tires, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
So optimizing that essentially. So if you have that, I don't think heating the tires is as much of an issue. But I think the car looks really nice, but it would be interesting to see how kind of it all flows together. And we can obviously, when we do the technical regulation stuff going into January,
there's going to be so much to talk about.
We can talk about all of this stuff.
We'll do an entire episode on tyres. We'll talk for an hour about tyres.
You say that, and now they're just leaving, like, okay, I'm not watching anymore.